It's time to wake up and win. It feels good to be back in the studio. I've been doing my lives from my car. Didn't want to really deal with the studio setup for a while, but it feels good to be back because this is the way that I like to really deliver the information. You know, put things on the screen, show y'all, bring the receipts and the invoices, as I like to call them. And what I need you guys to do, I need you guys, if you're watching on YouTube, I need you guys to like the YouTube video. If you're watching on Facebook, I need you guys to share out the video on Facebook. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet it. You know, we got to share this content out. It's very important content. And you already see the title of the show is Don't Let Them Play Us as Fools, because they think that we're foolish. They think that we're not paying attention to what's going on. And they don't expect us to stick together and pass the useful information. We sit there and gossip all day and talk about things that don't matter. But it's time to focus on the things that do matter, because if we don't, we're going to be in a whole bunch of trouble. So welcome back. Like I said, welcome back. And I'm happy to be back. So the first order of business that we're going to get into is ex-MTA exec Mario Peliquin raked in $411,000 salary while working remotely from Canada. So come to find out, the guy who ultimately replaced Byford was getting paid to work from home. And I'm talking about home. I'm talking about Canada. He's from Canada. This guy was working remotely from Canada, making $411,000. So you trying to tell me, right, in the middle of a pandemic, you got a guy who fled, not the state, but fled the country while we were subject to the diseases, while we were subject to this pandemic, sickness and death. This executive left the country to go home and be safe with his family. There's a lot wrong with this. There's a lot wrong with this. And this shows you how the MTA only want to be heavy-handed towards the rank and file employees. The execs get to do what they want. A lot of managers get to do what they want. They don't really care. They only really care to punish and what I call plantation justice to the rank and file employees. Now, what type of easy money? Like who wouldn't want to get paid $411,000 to be home? Who approved that? And it had to be someone like Sarah Feinberg, Pat Foy, someone around that range had to approve him to work from home to make that type of money. And then when you compare it to like what goes on with the rank and file, like you look at the stations, station cleaners, and they got to be forced to come in for snow duty. And then they come in for that snow duty. They don't get paid. But I guarantee you that Mario Peliquin checks was on time. I promise you his checks was on time. But this is the stupidity that this company perpetuate. This is what they do. And I don't understand how he was allowed to get away with this without a blink of an eye. You know, he resigned and went about his life, man. He's probably going to get another high-ranking job somewhere. And for contractors, for these bosses who come in for a certain amount of time and leave, it's just a cash grab for them. We the ones who are stuck here and got it. We ain't really stuck here, but we the ones who really have to deal with the things that's going on here. But this is a cash grab for contractors and these big bosses. He came, made $411,000, worked from home again, once again, Canada, and just left, just like that, man. He should have to give back some of that money where he worked from home. More news. Hold on, let me check something out real quick. I need you guys, I'm telling you, I need you guys to share out the video. Share out the video. Matter of fact, yeah, share out the video. Let me take these glasses off. I don't really need them today. I'll wear them when I'm in my car. But share out the video. Let's get into the next news. Let me see. MTA Union Press says he's afraid to let his kids ride the subway.
Get the fuck out of here!
let's just go straight into the video. It's a 17-second clip video. Let's go straight into it and check it out.
My children, if they tell me, Dad, I'm going to take the train into the city, sometimes I say to them, you know what? Here's money. Take an Uber or take a cab, because I'm not comfortable. It's not a comfortable place, and it should be a comfortable place, right? That's what it's there for. Is my children, if they tell me, Dad, I'm going to take the train into the city, sometimes I say to them, you know what? Here's money. Take an Uber or take a cab, because I'm not comfortable. It's not a comfortable place, and it should be a comfortable place, right?
Once again,
get the fuck out of here.
So the subway system is not safe for Utano's grown kids to ride the system, but the subway system is safe for the workers he represent to work in. Someone help me understand that and make it make sense to me. The same thing that he want for his kids, he should want for the workers that he represent. Did he forget that we have parents also, we have loved ones also, we have people that love us? And then what's the smack in our face is that he proudly says that, I put my kids in Ubers. A lot of us can't afford the extra sense of security of providing Ubers for our kids whenever we feel like they don't feel safe. Some of us are living check to check due to the poor contracts that this administration have negotiated. His kids, I get it. Your kids come first, but you're a union president. There's no way possible that you could be a manager of a restaurant and you will feed your workers that food, but your kids won't. You won't serve that same food to your kids because deep down inside that it's not good, right? This is what Utano is essentially saying. He think that the workforce, the employees who's getting spit on, they don't got parents. You think that Denor, when he got stabbed, you think he don't got parents and loved ones? You think what happened with Goebel, he has a mother that we see is very vocal and a wife that's very vocal. You think he didn't have loved ones? Why couldn't you have that same type of protection for us, the same like you have for your kids? The people here have loved ones also, Tony. It's very crazy that you say what you say, and you say, I don't know if you think when you say some of these things, but it'd be kind of like, wow, the stuff that you saying. And I've seen some people say, you know what, Tramel, but you said that you wouldn't allow your son to ride the subway either. First of all, my son is 4 years old. And I said that when he was about 1-2 years old, right? But I still stand by it. My son would not ride this system. And it's not about the violence where I was pointing to that. It was more of the culture of the cleaning here and how this place functions. Plenty of times I have seen RTO supervisors rush cleaning crews from cleaning up biological waste, blood, urine, vomit, whatever it may be, rush them to get the train out. For two stops later, customers to be sitting in that same biological waste. So I don't feel safe with my son riding the subways. Even he have to be heavily supervised by me. You know what I'm saying? Not even anyone else but me. But I don't feel safe just by the cleaning mechanisms. But and again, I'm a regular worker. I don't have the ability like Tony Utano have to sit at the table with these managers and tell them to put safety ahead of service. That's the main problem that happens in RTO. It's service first and then it's safety. All the time. It's always service first and then it's safety. I mean, if I had the ability to sit at the table like Utano, I would fix that. But for Utano to make a statement of, I ain't gonna allow my kids to I don't feel safe with them riding the subway. He acting like he don't have a seat at the table. He has one of the main chairs at the table. And if what he's actually doing, it's an indictment of his inaction of the real safety that goes on here and the foot that he put forward. He acting like he's a bystander in this. Oh, I don't, my kids, I'll give them money for Uber or whatever. Like he's acting like he's a bystander. He's at the table with the chief of NYPD Transit. He's at the table with Pat Foy, Sarah Feinberg. He's not a bystander in this. He's saying it like he's a regular worker. I don't feel safe. I'm gonna have my kids just take an Uber. Tony Utano, he don't know what he's doing. He don't have an ounce of fight in him. So I stand by my statement of my son will avoid these trains as long as possible, or at least until, we get someone at the table who's going to actually advocate for worker safety and workers' rights. That's plain and simple. So that's why we made this flyer right here. Protecting my blood family is a no-brainer, but my TWU brothers and sisters are expendable like the rest, 140 and counting. I mean, we see it with, we seen it during the pandemic. We see it during the everyday hustle and grustle of us transit workers getting our butts whipped in our job titles. And I'm not only talking about by management, I'm talking about by the ride in public, the assaults. The whole assault bill is a joke. They want to make up to a year in jail. Whenever you hear up to, just know that it's BS, right? We're going to make it a misdemeanor up to a year in jail. Whenever they have up to, the people never get that up to, whatever that up to number is. It's never that, if you notice. It's never that. They would still get slaps on the wrist. They would still get a slap on the wrist. And they think that we are foolish. They think that, we're fighting for this and we're fighting for that. And we're going to get this bill passed. They go get this bill passed to 2-3 years from down the line to get another bill passed, to get another bill passed, to get another bill passed. That's still not going to protect us. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. They still not going to protect us. It's the bottom line. And then we got, unless you've been sleeping under a rock, right? We got this whole Cuomo stuff going on, the allegations, crazy, right? Crazy. Cuomo probably couldn't fathom this of what was going on. So I found this picture right here. So Gov Cuomo then planted a kiss on TWU International President John Samuelson's cheek. So this seemed like something that Cuomo does, right? Goes around. Let me make this picture smaller. Give me 1 second. Goes around greeting people. That's how he greet people or whatever the case may be. But forget about that, right? Right now, Cuomo is in a very, very, very vulnerable position. The question is, why isn't John Samuelson or Tony Utano taking advantage of this open opportunity and weakened state of Governor Cuomo to push Tier 6? Why aren't they pushing hazard pay? Why aren't they pushing better assault protection for transit workers and anything else that would help further the causes of us MTA workers? Why aren't they doing it? This guy is passing everything up under the sun. I guarantee you, before this year is out or sometime in the summer, he's going to pass something for marijuana, legalizing marijuana, because Cuomo is smart. You can't take that away from Cuomo. Cuomo is smart, right? So look what they say. Curfew for casinos, movie theaters, bowling alleys, billiards halls, and gyms will be lifted on April 5th. Cuomo knows that, forget about the bureaucrats, the politicians who's trying to call for his removal or whatever the case may have you. He knows that the people put him in. And if he keep passing laws, lifting restrictions, and like I said, possibly pass the marijuana law, he is going to be the people's favorite no matter what. He understands that. Look what he did the other day or yesterday. He's bringing back baseball. He's in a weakened state right now. Because he's in a weakened state, he's in a given state. But the union leadership, Tony Utano, John Samuelson, is not holding his feet to the fire for the Tier 6 pension reform that he promised. All this hazard pay talk, where is it at? Why isn't he pushing? Why aren't they pushing for our causes? Cuomo's intelligent. He understands that the establishment voted him in. I mean, that the people voted him in, not the establishment. And he's going to continue to pass laws, lift restrictions, and do things for the people to get all these, to make people forget about these allegations. But the union is not taking advantage of this small window of opportunity. This is the time where you actually got to kick a man when he's down. You actually got to do it. You got to kick him while he's down. You got to get what you could get while you could get it. When the getting is getting good, you got to go get it. But they friends with Cuomo. They have Cuomo best interest. They probably call Cuomo every other day to say, "Hey, Governor, how you doing? Are you okay? Don't let these people get to you." And this is the kind of union people that we deal with. Now I know some people texting me about calling in. I'm gonna put the call up number on the show towards the end. I really don't want to be distracted right now. Oh, did you guys see the when Samuelson confronted the IG? Did you guys see that? I'm gonna play that video. It's a very interesting video. You guys really need to watch it. It's a very interesting video. Listen closely. We're going to discuss this. We're going to discuss this video. If you haven't liked the show yet, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the like button. Share out the show. It's very important. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet this. Listen to this video right here. Things get very interesting. We're going to discuss it. Check it out.
Questions?
Yeah,
Commissioner Law, Commissioner Samuelson.
let John go first. I'll go next.
John.
Yeah, Inspector General, in October of 2020 that you went to the media regarding a cable that was found in Jamaica Long Island Railroad Station and declared that a saboteur was at work and a loose cable was found. Can you tell me what the outcome and tell the board what the outcome of that case was?
Commissioner, we issued a report on the results of all of the instances of suspected sabotage of timekeeping equipment, so I can refer you to that. My memory is we did not locate a specific individual who was responsible for that instance. There was another instance where an individual acknowledged responsibility for sabotaging a timekeeping clock, accepted responsibility, and paid restitution in a different manner.
So it's my understanding that the wire that was found at that particular biometric device that you had run through the New York Post with was actually just a piece of construction debris. And I never saw the report. I never saw the final report. I'm sure it's out there. But you did that without doing any kind of formal investigation, without waiting for the outcome of an investigation. You went to the media on it. And I'm just curious because in August of last year, in August of 2020, you sent investigators, or I'm assuming you sent them, to Lyndon's shop in Brooklyn regarding the unauthorized installation of a Tesla charging device by supervisors at Lyndon's shop under the direction of a track boss named Nacella. So your investigators discovered the Tesla charging device, instructed the track bosses to remove the Tesla charging device, which, by the way, was paid for with an MTA credit card, installed with MTA man hours, 188 man hours, I'm told. The materials were bought on Amazon.com with an MTA credit card. And the IG investigators went and told them to take it down. They took it down. As soon as the MTA IG investigators left, they put it back up, and it remained there until Friday, until about 3 days ago or 5 days ago. Now, to my knowledge, this was never reported to the New York City Transit. There's never been a report on it. You never went to the New York Post on it. You never asked for any kind of recoupment. You never recommended discipline against those supervisors. You never did any such thing. And in fact, hopefully there's an email about that actually spells out this narrative being sent to the board right now with photos of the charging device. And I would put forth that there's a very clear reason why you did that or didn't do it. And that's that these were all supervisors involved and not one hourly worker involved. And it's curious to me that every time there's an hourly worker involved, you demand restitution, you demand recoupment, you demand discipline, you recommend dismissal. And it's very much a pattern. And I see that. And just with great curiousness, the same exact boss, Nacella, I know for about 28 years, is the boss that spoon-fed your investigators to the 7 track inspectors that are now out of service, who happen to be Black and Latino track inspectors. And all 7 of the track inspectors that you investigated happen to be Black and Latino, but not all of the track inspectors happen to be Black and Latino. And Nacella, who happens to be embroiled right now in an EEO investigation and have a history of being embroiled in racist problems in track from the time I became a track worker, is the one who not only was involved in the installation of this Tesla device, but also is the one who spoon-fed your investigators, and your investigators gave that testimony right in front of me. I witnessed it. I witnessed that happen. So I'm curious. There's 2 things. One, why is there not a report recommending discipline and recoupment of money for the installation of a Tesla charging station that was done for the personal benefit of a supervisor who went and bought a Tesla, who all of them happen to be white, by the way. And then secondly, not only is there not a report, why doesn't New York City Transit Management know about it when Sarah Feinberg was just asked the question? And I want to refer back to one thing. You said in the media at Jamaica Long Island Railroad, that incident in October 2020, that there's zero tolerance. There's a zero tolerance policy. And just like you claimed in October 2020 that the wire didn't cut itself, the Tesla charging station didn't build itself in Linden, yet nothing was done about it.
So Commissioner, I'm going to suggest this. I'm going to ask the Inspector General to address your question, and let's cut off the discussion there. I don't think this is an appropriate venue for dealing with conduct or alleged misconduct with respect to MTA employees. I don't think it's fair.
Pat, he mentioned. No,
sir, I'm going to ask the Inspector General to address the question.
Pat. What, 2 times a year? 2 times a year. When am I supposed to ask these questions?
No, let's ask the Inspector General to respond to your inquiry.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the questions. Regarding the incident you just mentioned, where we sought help from the public, asking for information that could lead to identifying the individual who was responsible for sabotaging the clock, that is a tried and true law enforcement technique to seek the public's help. The offense is not captured on videotape, and we're searching for witnesses. So that is just a tried and true law enforcement technique.
You missed the heart of the question, which was the installation of a Tesla charging station, which your investigators uncovered, yet you didn't do anything about it. No demand for recoupment, no demand for discipline. While I have members of the TW out on the street, every time you get a whiff of something, you recommend discipline, dismissal, people get suspended, lives get turned upside down. But here you have supervisors that they took
Pat, if I could just jump in for a moment.
A credit card to build a Tesla charging station, and you did nothing about it. So spare me and spare the TW and the rest of the unionized workforce all of your good-hearted nature about your Elliot Nessness, trying to find out who's doing what at the Transit Authority.
Other questions?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here!
I'm not going to be fooled by a Samuelson tirade. Even though we all know that the MTA is racist, I'm going to point out some certain things. You see how Samuelson said her Elliot Nessness? Well, Samuelson was actually being Matlock right there, right? But Samuelson started playing a race card, and he basically started calling the MTA IG a racist and saying that her investigations are are racist. But Samuelson said some pretty alarming things, right? He said that this guy Nasella was the one who actually banged in the track inspectors. And he's known Nasella for 28 years. And Nasella has been embroiled in some type of racist stuff since he's known him. Why is Samuelson just banging this in now? Why is Samuelson just talking now? He said he known this guy for 28 years. This guy has been a racist almost for as long as he knew him, and he's just banging this in. Why didn't he bang this in that? Why wasn't he banging it in before? Oh, because it didn't affect him. He didn't have anything to lose. This is all politics, folks. We can't allow them to fool us. Why all of a sudden now you are now whistleblowing on this guy when you say you know him for 28 years and you know he was racist this whole time? You want to know why? Because if Samuelson and Utano lose MOW, they are in serious trouble politically. They could possibly be voted out. First, it would start with Utano this year, and then Samuelson would end up losing the international if we get control of the local. So that's why he's standing up. I mean, nobody else peeped that. He known this guy for 28 years, known that he was racist, and just now saying something. And the only reason Samuelson is using a race card is because he has nothing else to stand on. He have nothing else to stand on. These IG investigations, they are brutal and they are heavy-handed. I mean, I don't know too much of the case, but from what I was told from a couple of people was that, you know, was GPS involved with the phones, and the track inspectors wasn't doing X, Y, and Z allegedly. And whatever happened, happened. And now Samuelson is trying to use the race card because there's Black and Latinos who's being affected by this. So when people hear Samuelson speak, oh, he's going hard for us blacks and Hispanics. No, he's not, because if he was going hard for us, he would have banged in that racist when that dude was being racist before it meant something to Samuelson. It only means something to Samuelson because he knows that it possibly can affect him moving forward. And that's what we have to pay attention to. And also, when you watch that video, right? When you watch that video, as soon as the conversation gets geared towards race, what happens? What happens? Pat Foy comes and say, basically, this is not the venue to have this conversation. And it's amazing when white folks discuss race, right? Because now it takes away, oh, you can't play. Nobody can say the white person is playing a race card. If it was me there, oh, Tramel, you're playing a race card. See, that's the beauty of when white people bring up race. They can't blame each other for playing a race card. So what does Pat Foy do? This is not the venue to discuss this. It wasn't about the manager. It wasn't about that. It wasn't about nothing else. It was about exposing this company for being the racist that they are. That's what this was about. This wasn't about nothing else. And I would like to ask Pat Foy, then what is the venue to actually have these conversations? Because these conversations need to be had and these people need to be dealt with. At what point do we have these conversations at this agency? We can't continue to say, oh, you know, next time, or not here, or just be quiet and we'll get to it. No, these situations need to be addressed now. These situations need to be addressed right now. And he is funny, right? It's funny. He's talking about Carolyn Picorni. That is the MTAIG. And I need you guys to walk with me on this one. If you could see the picture that's on the screen. If you could see the picture that's on the screen, and I got it rectangled off. I brought this up when she first got hired. Cuomo appointed her. We're going to get to that in a second. And I'm going to show you guys how Samuelson and Utano, they created this situation. But I'm going to read what I got rectangled off on the screen. You guys listen closely and tell me, does this make sense? For many years, she headed the office's International Narcotics and Money Laundering Program. She devised a national strategy for charging the leaders of Mexico's most powerful cocaine cartels and led the international investigation that resulted in the conviction of over 30 leaders of the Colombia's most powerful cocaine cartel. For her leadership on that case, she received the U.S. Attorney General's Award for Distinguished Service and the Federal Drug Agents Foundation True American Hero Award. They brung a Fed, someone who takes down cocaine cartels. We not talking about rah-rah selling weed on a corner. We not talking about Keisha selling little dime bags of crack or whatever the case may be. We talking about someone who's taking down cocaine cartels. What is she doing here in the MTA? What is she doing in the MTA? This lady was taking down cartels. Leaders of drug cartels. Now she's investigating track workers, conductors, traffic checkers. She's doing heavy-handed investigations on an agency that's mostly black and Latino. You guys don't see, but I brought this up before. That's why I'm saying you guys got to watch the shows and share out the shows. This is not nothing new to me. This is new to them. They haven't done the research. I did the research. This lady is she don't belong here. She's supposed to be send her to Mexico. Of course her investigations is going to be racist, Samuelson. You ain't have to say that the other day. We knew that. I ain't gonna lie, I'm happy that you said it. I'm glad you used the platform that you said it, but this is not nothing new. But this is what the people don't know. This is what the people don't know. Do you guys know that Samuelson and Utano is partly responsible for bringing Carolyn Picorni here? Did you guys know that? So all this about, her investigation, she may be racist, she may be that. Samuelson and Utano is partly responsible for bringing her here. She is a Cuomo appointee. The union gave $300,000 of our COPE money, Committee on Political Education money. That's the card that you fill out when you first come down here. They tell you to put $2, $5, $10, and you're just happy to get the job and you fill out the job. Well, they gave $300 of our COPE money to Cuomo, which helped fuel his candidacy, which gave him the power to in turn hire a former drug cocaine cartel prosecutor named Carolyn Picorni. Utano and Samuelson is responsible for that. We talking about drug cartels here, people. Right? If the union don't never support Cuomo and don't give him the money and take a stand to get him, we won't get a Carolyn Picorni. So they are essentially complaining about something they helped put into position. She's not a new jack. She's overqualified to be here. She's overqualified. And then, Samuelson is just throwing, how they say you throw feces at the wall and hope something stick. This is exactly what Samuelson is doing. He's throwing feces at the wall, hoping that something sticks. He's praying that something sticks. His last resort is the race card. We got to play. He's going to play the race card. He's going to play the race card. And Cuomo knew exactly what he was doing when he made her the MTAIG. He knew what was going to happen. I mean, look at their investigations. Long Island Railroad do something. What agency is on the front of the paper? New York City Trains or New York City Transit worker. But this is what you get when you have a union leadership who's in bed with the governor. They ain't only friends, they in bed with each other. Now you want to complain about this lady investigation. And like I said, when you dealing with them, you got to pay attention and keep your eyes open to the technology, because this could all look like a fight, depending on the outcome of what may happen with them track inspectors. I would love to know. I would love to know, the outcome of, the track inspector situation. And I would need you guys to keep me posted on that. But if these track inspectors get fired, Samuelson and Utano need to be held fully accountable. And the way to hold them accountable is to not vote them in next election. Because this is pretty wild. Now, I do that, as you just see, I just put the number on the screen. The number is 515-605-9842. You could call in and we could discuss your thoughts. We got more news though, more news. So, first and foremost, congrats to our sister for giving birth and successfully using the light duty program. It's been a long time coming. My team, Progressive Action, Nuke, Jocelyn, to be specific, myself, we have been on the front line of promoting women issues here on the property. And I'm talking about at MTA board meetings. I mean, they put us inside their book and everything, the MTA. And it's good to finally see something happen. And, people will want to take credit for this. We just happy that something is finally happening, but we have to pay attention to what the truth really is, right? So of course, Utano is going to push like, he got this done and this and that, and that's so far from the truth, right? Now, what people don't understand is that Tony Utano has been elected since the 80s. Since the 80s. He has been around for 4 decades in unionism. I'm talking about being elected, right? 4 decades. What has Utano done to bring these issues to light prior to our sister, unfortunately, losing her baby because there wasn't no light duty work? They put her in the train yard to throw switches, which isn't light duty work. There's nothing light about it, right? It's always something have to happen before the respect or the perceived respect is given. And that's what's happening here. This groundbreaking initiative that they said didn't win because of the aptitude of their fight. It happened because someone lost their child. And the program is still not fulfilling. And this is more facts. This is more facts. And show you how this administration is working with the TA, right? So we are going on year 2 of our contract, right? What happened to New York paid family leave, right? What happened with that? This was to also help women get up to 12 weeks after they give birth. This was supposed to help with that. What happened with this part of the contract, right? I'm gonna tell you what happened with that part of the contract. What I got circled off in yellow, which is employee availability, implement terms of employee availability improvement agreement. The MTA and the union is an agreement to help us come to work, no matter what the conditions are. That's why the union never stopped the unsafe conditions during the pandemic. They didn't want to stop service because the union and the MTA is in bed with each other with a contract trying to improve employee availability. What they don't understand that is to improve employee availability, you must improve the conditions here. You must improve morale. You must want people to come to work, not for a check, but because they love what they do. And that's what they failing to see. The MTA is failing to see it, and the union is failing to see it. And especially after what went on this past year, morale is low. What happened on the C and F lines, morale is low. Discipline is constantly up. Morale is low. You're not going to get better employee availability until you find a way as a company and as a union to increase morale. Increasing morale is not telling a pregnant woman that she got to come to work after 2 weeks. A woman don't heal in 2 weeks' time after giving birth, especially if she's given a cesarean C-section. She can't. That's surgery. You can't come back to work in 2 weeks. But as usual, the union is in bed with Cuomo's MTA, is in the best interest of protecting whatever Cuomo interests are instead of the men and women who work here and who are members of TWU. That's a big problem. And if we don't correct this problem, we're going to continue to fall behind. I mean, they are pushing this initiative. Like, if you were to read this, I would think that women came on the earth 2 years ago and started working for the MTA last year. And they created this groundbreaking initiative. Women been on the property for the better part of 50, 60 years. Why wasn't this done before? And I'm not, and there's a lot of blame and responsibility to go around, but this is not groundbreaking, especially when a union president been elected in unionism for more than 4 decades, or about 4 decades, 40 years. You know, there's nothing groundbreaking behind it. They are actually playing behind the 8 ball. You know, they are not doing well compared to NYPD, compared to sanitation, compared to FDNY. You know, people would say, well, a cop, you know, you wouldn't want to really a pregnant cop. But what about sanitation? We have similar duties. You have pregnant women working as cleaners, pulling garbage. It's no difference. There's actually no difference. But here is nothing groundbreaking if you're behind Tony Utano. Stop trying to play that 3-card Monty. Stop trying to smoke screen and mirrors, and stop trying to be the technology master. You're not that. You're not that. But this is not a groundbreaking initiative, but I am happy that we are finally getting some movement in that direction. If you just joining, we still got more show. I want you guys, if you're watching on Twitter, retweet the show. If you're watching on Facebook, like it. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. It's very important. So I want to talk about this guy right here, man. I want to talk about this guy. Let me put him on the screen. Rub me the wrong way. This is the MTA superintendent. His name William Doyle. Rubbed me the wrong way. He said something really, really flagrant. I felt it was very flagrant to Gomez. He said something. Oh, let me stop this real quick. Hold on. Let me stop this real quick. Let me figure out how to do this. But matter of fact, let me just break this up. Wait, hold on 1 second. Oh, let me just break up this. Yeah, but this guy, he said something really flagrant, I felt, to Gomez. This guy, William Doyle, like I say, he's the MTA superintendent, so we're going to talk about him right now. Mr. Doyle, I hope you watching New York City Transit Twitter. I asked for an apology. I mean, you guys, let me just get into the tweet. So Gomez was basically going in about I think Mike's droppings in the ceiling. It was dropping on the tables in the crew rooms or something like that. And you know, Gomez was very passionate, and you know, he was using crazy language or whatever. So you see the guy say New York City subway wear a mask. He said, "Hello, Gomez. We are real people. And if you continue to denigrate members of this team, we will no longer engage with you." And I found that to be very disrespectful. I mean, we are bringing concerns, health concerns to the TA. We being nice, tweeting it to get the MTA attention, to get them to fix things, because we all know that when we complain about stuff to supervisors and superintendents, the only thing they do is get on their computers, they send off an email, nothing happened. When you go to Facebook, things get taken care of magically and fast, right? So this guy, William Doyle, he says that if Gomez continued to use a certain type of language, they would not engage with him. They will ignore him, as if this guy thinks that we are below him, like he's doing us a favor by responding to us. right? He think that he's doing us a favor by responding to us. No, you're not doing us no favor. And first of all, just to be clear, Gomez wasn't talking foul to the MTA. He was talking foul to the union. The guy totally misread it. But for him to say that he would no longer engage in Gomez regarding safety concerns, who do he think he is? We're not below you. We're not inferior to you. In fact, you don't even control the board, my friend. How about if we don't engage with you? How about if we don't communicate with you? How about we just post things on the internet, and we would tell the supervisors, we would tell the superintendents, because they're not going to do anything, and we would post it on Twitter and don't give you guys information on safety concerns and just let you guys just run around and try to figure it out the best way that you can. How about that? How about we don't engage with you? What makes you think that you got the upper hand in this? Like, we are below you. We are an inferior. We supposed to be working as a team, and you talking about, like, you don't understand the frustration that transit workers went through this last year. You think when he said, he said, hey, Gomez, we are real people. You think that we aren't real people? You think that we didn't go through anything real this entire pandemic when y'all treated us like trash? You think that we not real people when y'all treat us like criminals? But we got to expect for y'all to be real people when you sitting behind a computer and just tweeting and answering tweets all day. But you don't tell the customers that you're not going to engage with them. You don't tell them that, right? And just to be clear, they did that to me before. The MTA did that to me before. They think that I wasn't going to get a hold of this right here, where they told the communication chief, Sarah Meyer. She think that I didn't know. You know, she acts like she's cool. But look what they said about me on Twitter. And this is people's sources, because you know I am a news source, right? I am a journalist. So a source sent me this and says ECU doesn't respond to this handle due to directives from management regarding engagement. Please do not assign to ECU queue. Please close and thank you. So they had actually, behind the scenes, like I said, they thought that I wasn't going to find this out, not want to engage with me. Right? But they have no choice. They could say that all they want. If I'm posting up serious safety concerns, you want to know what? They are going to say, Tramel, can you tell us where this is happening at? Now I'm going to go radio silent until we get an official apology from William Doyle. And not to mention, William Doyle, this is from another source. This is an email. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this guy sends out emails banging in workers. That's reported. He's banging in workers. Photos of employees sleeping on the refuge train. William Doyle, he don't see us as one of him or them. So this is and they think that I don't know these things, man. They think that I don't know these things. He has the nerve to say we are real people, as in management is real people, as if we wasn't kicked to the curb in the darkest days, not only in MTA, but in one of the darkest days in America history, dealing with time and dealing with, besides slavery, let me say that, dealing with this pandemic. That's the thing. These people get these titles and they think that they inferior, or we inferior to them, and they superior to us. We would not engage. We are not engaging with you. And until we get an official apology from this guy Doyle, we are not engaging. We're gonna be placing stuff on our Twitter page and we will not be giving any information until someone contacts me and explain why you guys are threatening not to engage with us. I don't care about his apology to Gomez about him misinterpreting, but I want him to explain the non-engagement. I want you guys to explain that non-engagement. A lot of people, just to segue off for a second, a lot of people been asking me, Tramel, where you get your progressive action hats from? Can I get a hat? Can I get a hat? Can I get a hat? The hats are available on perfidel.com, PERFEDEL. It is in the description of the video on Facebook. You will see merch, and you'll see perfidel.com. If you look on Facebook, in the description of the video, you'll see merch, perfidel.com. For those who want to donate, you could donate via Cash App. The Cash App is Progressive Action 100, and the PayPal is Progressive Action. And for those who want to donate via Patreon, Patreon is in the link of the video on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks for tuning in for today's show. I'll catch you guys later. Let's share out the video. Let's like the video. And let's do what this shirt say. Wake up and win. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.